Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Sister Circle. And subhanAllah, we have reached the end of this gathering class. So before we start, we'll start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. So thank you for joining the circle. I don't know why I have to, it should have already been open, but Jazakallah khair for joining. This is the last class. I'm not gonna talk too long, inshallah. Just wanna leave it open in case anybody wants to share. Inshallah, you guys have had a good weekend, and I know we lost an hour, so inshallah that didn't hit us too hard. So as I said in the beginning, this is the last class. We're going to stop because of Ramadan. And although we're not going to have this anymore, we are still here for each other. So definitely keep my number, whatever. Let's keep in contact. And then inshallah, maybe we can get back to doing something after Ramadan. So I just want to close out the last portion of what we're kind of pulling out from the book. And I'm just going to go ahead. Hold on one second. Okay, I can go ahead and, okay, doesn't matter. Keep going before I mess something up. Okay, so in this book, Sister Kendra was, proclaiming the Black feminine, but it's for everybody, the lies of feminism and the road to recovery. So in chapter 9, fast forwarding, just going a little bit, it's titled Maintaining Femininity After Reclaiming It. So now that we see different areas, and we all have different areas that we need to be working on, not just in femininity, but just in general, health, focus, careers, education, and in anything that we're trying to do, as soon as we come up with a plan and we want to start changing, it's easy when we're in that bubble. Then once we are out into the regular world and we're challenged because we've changed, but everything else is the same, that's how sometimes we get lost and we go back, and it's hard to keep up the change. So here is how, this is what she's trying to help us with or talk to us about in the maintaining femininity or any type of change after reclaiming it. So she says that when you've changed, the challenge is how to go back to the world, where everyone else has not. So when you've changed, the challenge is how to go back to the world when everyone else has not. Because in reality, there's no way that you should go back to your old ways. Once you've made some type of change, once you've made a commitment to yourself, you should hold yourself that you're not going to go back. This is something that's beneficial to me, and I'm not going back. She says, when it comes to, of course, she's talking about feminism in the book, the current climate today and the culture we're living in, it neither supports nor advocates women being anything other than feminists. So if you are wanting to talk about issues with your marriage, even issues with your parents, if you're not married, parenting, there's not a lot of support out there, really. There's more support in bringing you out of it. If you say, my parents get on my nerves, there's more support in the dunya that says, you know what, they're toxic. You know what, they're this. You know what, they like to break the family up. There's not, of course, in Islam, but I'm talking about in the dunya. And even some Muslims, we are starting to get a little dunya, we're getting affected. Like, we're trying to be too much, like, especially who we think are the Christians, that is starting to dilute and weaken our ummah and thus our community. So I'm not saying that if you go and you have a problem with your family or your marriages, that someone should say, just stick it out and just suck it up. No, but it shouldn't be automatically break, leave the family, go do you, get a job, chase that money, go on vacation. That's what's out there. This is why the Ummah is so important, why it's so important that we stay around the masjids and the halakas, because so that we're reminded that this life is temporary and we are here to seek the pleasure of Allah. We are here to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, okay. Okay, sorry, my notes are a little sloppy here. So then she says, I'm going over the closing out the chapter 9, maintaining femininity after reclaiming it. How to push forward when you've changed or you're trying to implement a change. She says that you can only maintain real change by practicing the value system. Remember that chart that I had up, and with us, and even for herself, because she is a Muslim, is the number one is Islam. And we know that Islam, our deen, that the more you practice your deen, the more that we're on our deen, the more that we're going to be met with opposition and challenge. So even if you're born Muslim, if you're a convert, it doesn't matter. The moment you want to like bring it up a notch, you're going to be challenged, even if it's yourself, right? So the opposition could be getting up for Fajr, fasting for Ramadan that's coming up. That's going to be a challenge. Opposition can be your friends. Are you really fasting? Like, why are you doing that? You know, that can be an opposition. That can be a challenge. Maybe you want to start wearing hijab. Then people around you, that's not necessary. That's a challenge. You may be called extreme. You might be called judgmental. People will say that you think you're better than them just because you are changing. So you have to be prepared for that. And you have to remind yourself of why you're doing this. So, and stay around other people who are going to support it. Keep your boundaries. Remind yourself that in reality, at the end of the day, it is Allah that defines our roles all across the boards. So not just as women, not just as, like Kendra Davis is saying, like the Black feminine, or all of us. This is for everybody, not just in that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has defined our roles in something like as specific as, if you want to, have a career, to something as general as humans, right? Our roles. So so that's why it is imperative. It behooves us to make sure that we stay around people that are going to support whatever change that we are trying to make. Like I said, even if it's, trying to be a better daughter, mother, wife, that degree, or something, especially like I said, with Ramadan coming around the corner, we want to focus, we want to read Quran. Maybe this is the year that we're going to learn how to read in Arabic, or we're going to learn a new surah. This is the year that we are going to try to pray tarawih in the masjid at least once a week, or whatever it is. Be prepared and know that it's normal, that you're going to face opposition and challenges. It's okay. Also, when it comes to let's see if I have it here. When it comes to, I'm just going to say it. So we remember the 10 life value system, how the top, hold on, here it goes here. Sorry, one second. Okay, hold on one second, dear sisters. Okay, never mind. I can't get it right now. But anyways, so number one is supposed to be Islam, what she calls the 10 life value system. And in Islam, once we have our role, we have our goals, we have our things we want to work on. We know we're going to have oppositions from even like I said, with ourselves, with other people who may not be understanding the changes. I mean, it could be something that's like you just trying to lose a little weight. Like, no, I don't want no rice. No, I don't want no bread for iftar. Oh, come on, sisters. Even though all challenge is not malicious, all challenge, some people just may not understand, or some people may just not think it necessary, or I mean, we're a mirror to each other. Some people might be like, well, if I eat this in front of you, what are you going to think about? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So as long as you are committed, you have to be committed to the change that you want to make. And then even when you slip up, it's okay. Just get back and start all over again. But the support is important. Like I was saying in the beginning, which is why it's important to be connected to a practicing Muslims, to a masjid, halakas, things like that is very important. Because if not, we're going to get sucked and we're going to get influenced by the outside culture. So in our Islam also comes the health part. We should always try to be better versions of ourselves, for our family and for our friends. So if we're not healthy, how can we be there for other people? Not to mention, of course, I'm not speaking of non-preventative conditions, but in the preventative conditions, sometimes if we're not careful, then we become a burden to especially our children or our nieces and our nephews when we get older, because then we depend on them to take care of us. So if we try our best to think of our health now, Allahu alam, the things that we can prevent, things happen, then it's it's a way to look out for your family. It's a way to think about your family. If I just stay in my room or stay at home and I eat all day and I'm lazy and I gain weight, and then I just dependent on my children, go to the store for me, go do this, go do that. They're young now, but when they get older, it's a burden. So it will have a toxic relationship. So it also shows that I don't value my family. I'm exploiting them and I'm taking advantage of them. I don't value them because I'm not putting anything in. I'm not a producer in the relationship. I'm just a consumer. I'm sucking things out of them. So when they're around me, they are empty. They feel depleted. So that's not what we're doing. So Islam is number one, right? Thinking about that 10 life value system that Sister Kendra breaks up. And Islam is like it's the well that goes into all the other categories. So Islam tells us how to eat when it comes to the health, tells us our roles as women and as people in general, and even tells us how to take care of our body and health when it comes to not just eating medicinal things like that, but also in how we treat each other, like anger. Don't be angry. Don't raise your voice. Don't go without speaking for 3 days. All that is healthy. And let me see, another point that I want to say is that to not have any shame in changing. There's no shame in changing and improving who you are. And one thing that I learned from this book and just from listening to Sister Kendra is that hypergamy in a different way. I think of it in a different way, how it's part of our hypergamous nature to level up, to glow up, to improve. It's not man hopping. It's not, like that. It's we're always, something inside of our nature is always wanting to improve. And sometimes we may think that it's the external. Maybe I need another purse. I need these shoes are old. I need new couches. But the challenge is maybe it's something within ourselves. We should always be leveling up and improving ourselves. Okay, then, and I'm almost done. And then I wanted to share this quote that she shares also in the book by Socrates. To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. So this entire journey, it's about us. It's about us. And then when we go out into the world, how to protect and how to maintain ourselves. And okay, and with that, I just wanted to share this quick video, and then I'll open it up. And I just would like to know if there's anything new that you sisters may have learned about yourself in this exchange. Okay, let's see one. Let me see something. See if I can do this. Okay. Okay, inshallah, you guys can see this. It's just literally less than 2 minutes.
that is where this healing is going to start. You got to look at your broken places. Look at your broken places. Not excuse them, not try to fix them, not, you got to just look at your broken places and then understand where that break is bleeding into your life. Because if you got a break, it's bleeding somewhere. And then don't just do pain management. Be willing to do the surgery. And the way that you do that surgery is tell the truth about what you feel, not about what they did or what happened. Tell the truth about what you feel. I feel broken. I feel crazy. I feel weak. I feel less than. I feel stupid. I feel lost. I feel hungry, whatever. Tell the truth about what you feel. And stop pointing fingers and blaming about what people did and didn't do. My father wasn't there. And as a result, I feel like nobody will ever accept me as I am. And I've got to prove who I am by doing so much and giving so much. That's why I sleep around. I just want a man to accept me because my father didn't. That's the truth. Tell it. And then forgive.
Okay, subhanallah. So I just wanted to share that just to close out this section, just to remind ourselves that we all have broken pieces. Yana Mazat is one of my favorite authors. She has a book, Peace from Broken Pieces, that I would recommend. I read a lot of books, but I just wanted to close out with that reminder that we all have broken pieces. We all have areas of our lives that are painful, that we're trying to run away from, but it's in those broken pieces. It's just going to sound cliche, but that's where the pieces, like that's like she said, the surgery, not just pain management, not just how do I live bleeding. You're not going to live bleeding. You're going to be, no. But at the same time, there are some pains that we're going to have to learn to live with. Yes, the pains, certain pains, certain losses, certain tragedies, certain traumas, but we have to try to learn to forgive. And I know with the month of Ramadan, it's a great time, but we need to first forgive ourselves. And in order to forgive ourselves, we have to believe that we deserve better. So it's not, these things happen to me. Sometimes it's hard for us to forgive and we let go and not let go because we're mad at ourselves that why didn't I protect myself or what I could have did differently, especially if you're a kid, there's nothing that you could, nothing, but we just still have that guilt. Or maybe it was my fault, whatever it is, forgive yourselves. Start with forgiving ourselves first and foremost, and give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to be weak and vulnerable with you. You know, we are better friends to each other than we are to ourselves. So I just challenge during this month of Ramadan that we be a friend to ourselves, have, intimacy with ourselves in the sense of like making dua, like really, really pray for yourself, seek and look through, like Ian Levinzat said, the places, the broken places that may be bleeding in our lives. We are in a time now where everything is mental health. I'm sorry, I'm over the mental health crap, but it's like everything triggers and we're triggers. No, like, okay, if that's a trigger, follow the breadcrumbs. And like Ian Levinzat said, inshallah ta'ala, start a path of healing. Start the path of healing. And this goes and this closes out and this seals the deal for the message of Kendra's book in regards to like maintaining and claiming this new and improved person that we want to be. And it's going to be continual. We're always going to be evolving. Like I said, as women, it's part of our hypergamy. Like we're always looking for a glow up, a new hairstyle, a new perfume. At least we should. If we're not in that manner, then we're neglecting ourselves. Or if we're projecting it on other people. Like I want better, but I don't expect it of myself. I expect it of other people. So So yeah, one question, yeah, is has, you know, if anybody's learned anything. And also I wanted to leave out before I forget a challenge for Ramadan in the maintaining and reclaiming and all that and stuff like that. I just have one challenge is to in the me thinking about like how protective that we are as moms, sisters, wherever we are in our life, to just try during this month of Ramadan for like especially social media. Try the challenge of not posting any pictures of yourself or your family members. I mean, you could post anything. It's just a challenge, just to see. Because we all say, you know, I'm on social media and it's not for this, it's not for that. Okay, it's to keep, and it is to do dawah, it is to keep in contact. There are certain relationships that you can only have on social media. That's true. But in the season of Ramadan and just in the preserving and, you know, like I don't, like for me personally, I think I believe in the evil eye, people looking at your picture, your kids and all that stuff. I don't think it has power like other people do, like very great power. But I think that even for us to kind of check how even we may be like looking for validation. Look at my new outfit. Look at this. Look, it's not bad. It's not like being braggadocious or anything like that. But to just try to like put a seal on it just for the month of Ramadan. Just put a seal on it and just focus on external things. So, okay, so then if anybody wants to share, the floor is open. I've talked too much about, is there anything new that you learned about yourself, good or that, you know, we can work on? Is there anybody? Or you can chat it if you're shy. Or let me see. Let me see if I can think of, because one thing that I learned, well, I can say two things that I learned about is the hypergamy part in regards to you know, sometimes people think if you want if like even if you tell your husband or something, I want a new car, or sometimes women are accused of not being satisfied. Now I'm like, no, that's not what it is. We want to glow up. We want to level up. And that's not bad. Only, you know, I mean, it's bad if we only do that externally. If we're doing it materialistic wise only, and primarily, and not internal. Not like, you know what, I need to level up myself. Like if I can run 1 mile, I want to run 3. I'm going to get to 3. And when I hit that 3, I'm going to get to 5, you know, or whatever it is, you know, we have to, I've learned that hypergamy is natural and it should be embraced. It just has to be controlled, just like with the chaos. I learned that that chaos is not necessarily bad. It's the flavor, it's the spice. Because especially in relation to men, men can be predictable and boring. And we're like, I want you to surprise me. I want you to do this and I want you to do that. And they don't know. They're just doing what they do. And then we get disappointed. But in reality, it's really us. Like they come in, it's us that's supposed to do that. Not that men can't do. Of course, men have a responsibility also to put forth effort in that, especially the romance, or I think everybody here may be married. But those are two things that I learned, is the chaos and the hypergamy. Is there anyone else that wants to share what they may have learned new? If not, we can close out. Today has just been a short meeting. This is the last meeting, as I said in the beginning. Ramadan's around the corner, and inshallah, we can still stay in contact. I'll leave the WhatsApp group open for like a few days for people to catch up if they want to watch any of the videos, and then we'll delete it before Ramadan, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. But I do want to thank you, sisters, for supporting and participating. Jazakallah khair for that.
I just wanted to pop in. I was gonna say if you could I don't know if you have already, but the link to that video that we just watched, like the one that Ayala, her, that one was really
Definitely.
good. Okay, yeah, because I
Yeah,
was like,
Ian and Zach. Yes,
I
definitely.
really liked that. But I think I'll just share, I guess, what I learned about myself. Um, is that I'm a person who's like confrontational, but I don't think confrontation is a bad thing. Like you said, I think it's just about like the flavor you put into it. If you're a person who goes into like confrontation in order to find a solution or to get an answer, and you do it in a way that's peaceful and problem solving, it can be really healthy. In my family, they label me confrontational. Like my mom, my sister, they're like, oh, Mary's gonna want to talk about this, or she's gonna have a group meeting